Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the mystical and esoteric Bible teacher platform. How are you guys today? How are you guys doing? Welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today, let us look at the esoteric meaning. This is another one where they always, being in a church setting, and you just heard something about the woman at the well. Esoteric meaning of the woman at the well. That's another beautiful and something about these stories, parables, and metaphorical statements or allegory. It's amazing that everything he talked about was the genuine realization of your beingness, genuine realization of your oneness with God or source. Majority of all the parables and stories in the Bible, especially in the New Testament, talking about how you and your Father one, but it's amazing how we still separate ourselves from God, how we still separate ourselves from source. How does like this, especially as Africans? We tend to religiously know what God is and lose focus of the fact that you're looking at God right in front of the mirror. Looking at God right in front of the mirror. It's amazing. Sometimes I weep when I see all these things. And then just few people are taking advantage of us. Whether it's your pastor or your reverend or those people you hold in high esteem when it comes to religious entities. All right, having said that, let's look at the esoteric meaning of the woman at the well. Okay, the woman at the well. The well represents. Usually love all this representation. The well representing the depth of the subconscious mind. The depth of the subconscious. That's what the well represents, the subconscious mind. The inner reservoir of life, emotion, and spirit. That's what the well represents. Now the water represents or symbolizes the truth, symbolizes truth and divine energy. Truth and divine energy. The living essence that sustains the soul. The well represents depths of the subconscious mind. That's what the well represents. Then water symbolizes the divine energy. Divine energy. Alright, truth and divine energy. That's what the water symbolizes. Now, the woman stands for the human soul. The woman herself. Don't forget some of these things. The woman herself. The woman in question, right, stands for human soul. And a human soul, weary, fragmented, and seeking fulfillment through the outer world. Through the outer world. Have 5 husbands. 5 husbands. Pay close attention, right? 5 husbands represents the 5 senses. I love this. How would I go, right? Woman, the human soul, fragmented, and seeking for fulfillment through the outer world. And 5 husbands represents the 5 senses, which she has been wedded to, trying to draw life and satisfaction from material experience. All right, material experience. Now, the man she is currently with, but who is not her husband, represents the current illusion of identity. Current illusion of identity. The state of consciousness not yet united with spirit. That's what the man that she's currently with represents. All right. Now, when Jesus, the Christ consciousness, meets her at the well, it is the encounter between divine awareness and the human soul. It is the encounter between divine awareness and the human soul. That's what that represents. Now, Jesus and the woman, divine encounter with the human soul. All right? The Christ consciousness as Jesus meeting the woman is the divine meeting with the human soul, the encounter between divine awareness and the human soul. That's Jesus representing divine awareness of being God, and awareness of having unity with the source. Come closer as we take a deep dive, right? He says, if you knew the gift of God and who it is that says to you, give me to drink, you would never have asked of him, and he would have given you living water. If you knew the gift of God and who it is that says to you, give me to drink, you would have asked of him rather, and he would have given you living water. The living water is not physical. It is the eternal flow of divine life within. The living water is not physical. It is the eternal flow of divine life within, the direct awareness of spirit that satisfies every thirst of the soul. That's the living water. Now, when she says, "Sir, give me this water," it represents the soul's turning point, the desire to move from external satisfaction to inner realization. It's amazing when we look at us trying to satisfy our thirst and hunger from the water outside. The water outside will lead to struggle. The water outside will lead to efforting, because you will need a lot of strength to draw out of that water outside. A lot of strength. But there's another water, the living water. It's not ordinary water, but it's a representation of that inner awareness of the source that flows forever. Living water is not a physical thing. It's the eternal flow of divine life within, the direct awareness of his spirit. Direct awareness of the spirit that satisfies every thirst of the soul. Now, Jesus revealing a past, you have had 5 husbands, symbolizes self-awareness, the unveiling of all that binds us to illusion. Once the truth is revealed, the soul awakens and transforms. All right, now, the woman leaving a water pot and running to tell others is a powerful symbol. She has abandoned the old vessel. She has abandoned the old vessel. So the woman leaving a water pot, all right? Leaving a water pot symbolizes abandoning the life without, symbolizes abandoning the life outside. Yes, symbolizes abandoning the old vessel, the life outside, the old vessel, washing that vessel, that pot that would always want to make you go back to fetch, efforting every day. She abandons it, and then the old way of seeking, the old way of seeking for the living water, the old way of seeking for the abundance that you think you want to acquire or achieve. Rather than seeking it on the outside, you now realize that you are actually carrying the abundance yourself. All right, so the old way of seeking and then become a messenger of inner truth, just like what I'm doing right now, a messenger of inner truth. That there is this other water that you take and you will thirst no more. This other beautiful water that you take and you taste no more. The water is not found in your religious walls. It's not found in dogma. It's not found in creed. It's not found in activities. It's not found in efforting. It's only found within you, only if you come to that realization. All right, so let's quickly see how it affects us as individuals. The woman at the well wasn't just drawing water. She was about to draw truth from the deepest well within her own soul. All right, so in the esoteric sense, the well is the subconscious mind, deep, vast, and filled with the waters of truth. The woman represents the human soul, searching for fulfillment in the outer world through relationships, through the senses, through matter, through struggle, efforting, and all that. Her 5 husbands symbolize the 5 senses. And the man she's with now, who is not her husband, represents the false identity, the ego self disconnected from divine unity. Okay. Now, then appears Jesus, the embodiment of Christ consciousness, not the person. You know, we'd always thought about Jesus appearing. It must be Jesus at the well. Those are allegorical stories, actually. You know, how couldn't I have known this for religion, Kai. It's amazing how I now realize that the Bible is not to put me into slavery. It's to enlighten me. It's to enlighten me from what I've always been, but I'm not aware of. It's for total emancipation of the human soul. That's what the Bible, that's what that book is all about. Not to put you into fragmented soul or put you into weariness or put you into shame, guilt. You know, like we've always thought about. But to free you, to emancipate you from mental slavery. That's wow. Now, then appears Jesus, the embodiment of Christ consciousness, the voice of spirit that meets the soul in its thirst. And he says, whoever drinks of this water shall thirst again, but whoever drinks of the water I give shall never thirst. So you see Jesus Christ consciousness living within you, telling you that the one outside you would go over, longing for it again, but that the one inside that he gives as the Christ consciousness, that state of awareness, that highest state of vibration, tells you that once you come in contact with this source within you, you will thirst no more. And the living water of divine awareness flowing from within. When Jesus reveals a truth, he's not condemning her, he's awakening her memory of who she really is. And that's basically what the consciousness does, awakens you. And this is who you are, you just forgot. Stop efforting, stop struggling. Live from within. And when she leaves that water pot behind, it's the soul living behind the old vessel of seeking, because she's found the source. You know what it means when you found the source? It flows from within. There's no point running up and down, because you carry the source. You carry the source. Now she runs to share the news, for once the soul is filled, it becomes the messenger of spirit Okay, now the story of the woman at the well is the story of every soul, the journey from thirst to fulfillment, from illusion to truth, from self to spirit. The living water is within you, and once you drink from it, you will never thirst again. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if this message spoke to your spirit, subscribe to the Mystical and Esoteric Bible Teacher platform for more hidden truth and inner revelations from Scripture. Because every story in the Bible is a mirror, and when you look closely, you see yourself. You see yourself. All right, I haven't said that, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you in the next one. You know how we do it, right? All right, bye for now. Bye.